From the PEP Radio Newsroom, this is the Hourly News Blast. Advocate is reporting President Donald Trump suffered a pair of legal setbacks Thursday after a federal judge in Washington, D.C. blocked the Federal Trade Commission from enforcing investigative demands against two of the nation's most influential medical organizations involved in transgender healthcare guidance. Chief Judge James Boasberg of the U.S. District Court for the District of Columbia granted preliminary injunctions to both the World Professional Association for Transgender Health and the Endocrine Society, temporarily halting FTC investigations that the groups argued were politically motivated and unconstitutional. The FTC investigations began earlier this year amid the administration's broader effort to target institutions connected to gender-affirming treatment for trans youth. The agency issued civil investigative demands, or CIDs, seeking years of internal records, communications, financial information, conference materials, and documents related to medical guidance on transgender care. In separate lawsuits filed in D.C., WPATH and the Endocrine Society accused the administration of weaponizing federal investigative powers to intimidate organizations that support evidence-based medical care for transgender patients. The complaints argued the FTC was not conducting ordinary consumer protection oversight, but instead attempting to chill scientific debate, suppress protected medical speech, and deter physicians and researchers from participating in discussions about health care for transgender people. Boasberg appeared deeply skeptical of the administration's motives in both rulings, repeatedly pointing to what he described as evidence of hostility toward the organizations and their views on clinical standards for gender dysphoria treatment. In the WPATH ruling, Boasberg wrote, "The record strongly suggests that the CID was issued, at least in part, because of hostility toward WPATH's viewpoint and advocacy regarding transgender care." The judge explicitly tied that conclusion to the administration's broader conduct surrounding transgender health care. This court's opinion in the parallel suit brought by the Endocrine Society details the range and depth of animus displayed by the president and agency leadership toward gender-affirming care, Boasberg wrote. He went further, writing that the circumstantial evidence of animus toward WPATH overlaps significantly with the record in the Endocrine Society's case, particularly through what he described as a pattern of litigation and information demands alongside articulated hostility towards proponents of gender-affirming care. In one of the ruling's sharpest passages, Boasberg concluded that on this preliminary record, with extensive evidence of animus and wafer-thin justifications lacking evidentiary support, it finds that WPATH is likely to demonstrate a causal link between its protected speech and the FTC's issuance of the CID. Boasberg also noted that the administration officials had publicly attacked WPATH before the FTC investigation began, including statements accusing the organization of lacking scientific integrity and contributing to blatant harm done to children. At another point, the judge wrote that the evidence supported an inference of viewpoint-based animus toward WPATH and its advocacy surrounding gender-affirming care. The court additionally found evidence that the investigation had already chilled protected speech and association. According to the opinion, WPATH leaders testified that they had curtailed educational programming and altered internal communications due to fears of retaliation and disclosure of sensitive member information. And that's the news blast for this hour. The PEP Radio YouTube channel posts daily news updates every 3 hours, every day. PEP Radio is available on the Live 365 app, the PEP Radio page at paequality.com, fmstream.org, Radio Line, Streama, Roku, and Alexa. Up next, we have the Meadville area weather forecast here on PEP Radio.